If this chunky SUV looks familiar, that's because it is. This is the all-electric XC40 Recharge, but in new single motor avatar. As opposed to the twin motor that has a motor at each axle, the single motor features a rear axle mounted motor alone. Peak power and torque stand at 238 horsepower and 420 Nm versus the twin motor's 408 horsepower and 670 Nm. 238 horsepower and 420 Nm are not standout figures in the world of EVs, nor is the 7.3 second 0 to 100 kph time. But that's the thing about this EV performance arms race, because 7.3 seconds to 100 in isolation is still a very brisk figure. To put things in context, a GLA 220D is slower than this version of the XC40 Recharge. Sure, you don't get that supercar-like hit of performance that you get in the dual-motor XC40 Recharge, but calling it slow would be overstating things. Performance is friendly with easy responses to the accelerator pedal. Mashing your foot down will give you a nice burst of acceleration, but it's not as severe or long-lasting as what you get on the twin motor. Incidentally, it's this very character that Volvo believes will resonate with buyers who want their EV to be brisk and unintimidating and not necessarily sports car quick and thrilling. The single motor is a pleasant drive and frankly gives you all the power that you could use safely and legally on a public road. Other points of note from the driving experience include the regen braking. As on the XC40 Recharge all-wheel drive, you get one-pedal driving, which means strong regeneration that can actually bring your car to a complete standstill. It's most helpful in city driving conditions, but when you're going faster, it's so strong it almost feels like someone's slammed the brakes, and that's not all that nice. You can't fine-tune regen levels, but 2024 model year XC40s get a new auto mode that uses the ADAS system's camera and radars. What that does is it reads the settings around you. So let's say if there's another vehicle ahead of you, the car reads it through the camera and radars and it'll automatically apply the brakes. And this is purely regen braking and it actually works really well. In other ways, the XC40 Recharge single motor drives no different to the dual motor we're familiar with. You feel safe and secure in the Volvo, and even the handling manners are very neat and predictable. You can add a bit more weight to the steering via a control on the touchscreen. It doesn't really transform the driving experience, but you will be quite content with how the XC40 Recharge changes direction. Ride comfort is a mixed bag. There's a toughness to the Volvo's build that shines through on the worst of roads, but you can't escape that firmness in the suspension setup as well. There's no shortage of ground clearance, which can be a cause for concern on EVs. However, like the dual-motor XC40 Recharge, this single-motor variant also has this tendency to hop over speed breakers, and you feel that particularly if you're sat at the back. The single motor draws power from a 69 kWh battery pack that enables a WLTP range of 475 km. Expect a real-world figure of about 350 to 380 km. For perspective, the twin motor gets a larger 78 kWh battery that boasts a 505 km WLTP range. Charging options include DC charging up to 150 kW, though AC home charging will be the go-to option for most buyers. Outside and inside, the single motor doesn't come across as a lesser XC40 Recharge. The cabin is a nice place to be and there's a feeling of security that stays with you. Quality is good, the front seats are comfy, and the rear seat is roomy enough for two, if a tad upright at the backrest. What's a pity is that you'll need to ditch the spare tire positioned on the floor to fit big suitcases in. And while there's no front motor, frunk capacity remains unchanged at 31 litres. There's quite a bit packed in with dual-zone climate control with an air purifier, digital dials, a 9-inch touchscreen, wireless phone charger, a panoramic sunroof, and a powered tailgate. Safety kit includes 7 airbags, ESC, and a full suite of ADAS functions including emergency braking and lane keep assist. However, the single motor does miss out on some features. Multi-way adjustable pixel LED headlights make way for simpler LEDs, there's no 360-degree camera, and the Harman Kardon sound system has been dropped too. For all the paring down, you'd expect the single motor to be a whole lot more affordable than the twin motor, right? Sadly, that's not the case. Priced at 54.95 lakh rupees, the single motor is all of 3 lakh rupees less than the twin motor, and that's a problem. Because for 3 lakh rupees more, you get the XC40 Recharge with a larger battery, all-wheel drive twin motors, 408 horsepower and a 4.9 second 0 to 100 kph time, and more features. So I don't know, I seem to be missing something because I can't really understand why someone would go for this rather than put in a bit more money and get a whole lot more electric car. Volvo's sales executives would need to be at their A game to steer a potential buyer from a twin motor to this single motor.